All right. Welcome back to the stream today. We did start 1 hour earlier today. Hopefully, um, that provides enough time for anybody that wants to join. Um, I am going to start working on, or today, I'm going to begin working here to finish this illustration like we started yesterday. And then I want to start talking about puppets. So again, these are drawings I've been kind of making for the Seed and Spark. I forgot what brush I used for that. Has it been something like this? Let's color pick that. Actually, I can check. If I go to recent, I can kind of, it's leatherwood. So yeah, today we're gonna be talking about puppets. Yeah. Hi Isa. Um, Thank you for joining. Today we are gonna be talking about puppets. I'm starting with kind of this illustration so I can like finish it. And we're gonna get started on talking about puppets. Thank you for joining. So exciting that you were able to join us. And this is a particularly exciting conversation to have. It's probably gonna be not the not the most like thorough chat about puppets because I do have a better idea for that once we're closer to like having a finished product. But we are gonna be talking about them today. I prepared a little like PowerPoint and everything to kind of talk about it. Okay. Um, this looks pretty much set. Um, so again, these are just kind of like things I'm doing for the Scene and Spark. To So this is like wish list things, and so there are little illustrations I'm doing for that. So I am gonna get started with talking about puppets. Let me pull up the presentation. It's been 5 minutes. We can start talking about it. So as you can see, I made like a handy little presentation. Not much flair. It was quick. I just wanted to kind of talk about it as we went. Let me remove distractions from the screen. Hi, sweetheart. So the whole idea was I approached Ryan, our production designer on the film, with this idea of a group or a troupe of singing puppets, specifically like Birds of Paradise. They weren't supposed to be puppets. I said there's a troupe of Birds of Paradise, and they're like a little troupe that are assembled by this character called the musician, and this is like one of the aspects of the film. And immediately, Ryan came up with an idea. She kind of said, "Have you ever?" She kind of said, "Oh, like the ones in the Tiki Room, in Walt Disney World." And I said, "Oh," and And then we took a little trip. Being privileged to be from Orlando, we took a little trip to the Tiki Room, and they just have exactly what I wanted. They have like these bird of paradise flowers that sing along to the Tiki Room songs, and they come alive every so often. And this was exactly the perfect point of reference for both of us to be like, yes, that's beautiful. But I kind of wanted to take it a little step further. So that's when I told the order for this is wrong. Let's move it. So then the concept was, I want them to be bird of paradise flowers, like the actual flowers, but I also kind of wanted to represent actual birds, national birds, or birds that you would find in Venezuela, since that's kind of the whole idea, and kind of mix both of them, and that's when we had a concept. So here you can see the troupial, which is the national bird of Venezuela, as just like one of the birds we picked out. So the idea is to merge the flowers and the birds and kind of create an amalgamation of both. So we picked out 5 birds: the troupial, the violeteer, a flamingo, the macaw, and then a scarlet ibis. Those are 5 birds. I don't want to show them all or show every material we have so far, although you will see all the puppets. But I mean, like drawings and illustrations and all the technical drawings Ryan has made for the film. But here I kind of gave you a glimpse of. So there's the original concept of the troupials. You've seen the birds of paradise flowers, and I did quick sketches here. Once the idea arose of kind of what I thought they should look like, or like how I imagined them looking like. Obviously, mine are way more idealistic. So we played around with this idea, and these are technical drawings that Ryan made to kind of clean up the ideas we had in paper, and Ryan has some great illustrations on her notebook as well, some like hand-drawn papers. So yeah, these are already like technical drawings, the ones we use as reference once we started building. The thing became, let me lower this, it's too loud. Then we kind of thought about doing like how we were gonna get this done. How can we bring the concept, the illustrations, the technical drawings to life? And one of the first ideas we had was snapper toys. So we bought snapper toys. We found this alligator like snapper, kind of like the ones you would find at a zoo or a theme park, or like any place where you could find thematic toys like this. So we bought one. This the one you see here, like wrapped in plastic, Twin Peaks style, was the first one we bought, which was like the test dummy. And the concept was take the snapper toy that kind of functions like this. It's very simple mechanisms, and shape the bird of paradise around that. And that's what we did. So we started modeling, and this is the one on the... Hi, Michael. Thank you for joining. The one on the left, I had to hold up my my fingers just so I can remember which one's left and which one's right. The one on the left was Ryan's first pass at creating a beak shape. Kind of, this was the test dummy again. And we decided that the actual beak of the alligator, this one was gonna be too kind of too chunky and too much to build over. So Ryan and Robert took it to the shop and they sliced it. They removed half of the puppet, and that's kind of where you can see the technical drawing. If you kind of pay attention to the technical drawing, this is the actual arm of the snapper toy, and this is like the remaining head, and then everything else was like what we are adding onto. So they chopped it in half, and the idea was to use wire and any other sort of material to build the new shape and build those beaks out. So this is, again, the one on the left was Ryan's first pass. This was very rudimentary. And like, as you can tell, the wire frame is kind of hard to shape. And that's something that when we had like the build weekend, we were kind of struggling with. But we on build weekend, this is like mine, like the first steps for mine. And I didn't take videos. I didn't take that much video, which I regret. And not a lot of progress pictures. So there's going to be like very big jumps and leaps from what you're about to see to like the next step. So we started building out a wireframe like this too, but we started building out of like bamboo sticks, like popsicle sticks essentially. And this is like hot glue and bamboo sticks, and we just started building off like that. And Ryan, Robert, Andre, and I each took on like a puppet, one different bird, and that's when we got into the actual build phase. And as you can see here, this is once we were actually all done with our puppets. I don't know why Keynote stretched the video out like that, but here you kind of see them in action, and it's so cool. And here you can kind of we can kind of zoom in and start looking here at like each one. Again, there's not a lot of pictures and videos of the construction, but you kind of have to imagine that it was that it was something like this. So we started building out the beaks and creating kind of reinforcing the structures to get to a place where they looked like this. I can talk a little bit about mine because I knew exactly how I built mine. So we all had like the same tail structure. So just like breaking little bamboo sticks, hot gluing them, and then there was like reinforcement here, reinforcement there. We put like one stick from the eye to the side of this, so it was like parallel to this, and we just kept doing that until there was structure there. So we all had that identical back tail, and then I started mine by creating this central line of the top beak, because I knew that was where everything else was gonna be like formed around. So as soon as I got like that top beak shape, I can start going into this bottom one. So I created a top line and a bottom line, and then to see if I can do that better. No, it's on the other side. Let's flip it then. No. sorry, I'm like, I don't want to zoom it out. I'm being lazy. So once I had the top line and the bottom line, then it kind of became a mission to reinforce it. So there's a lot of bamboo sticks inside as well, and multiple other wireframes that kind of build the dimensionality for it. And as you can tell, once we had like the base structure, we taped over it to kind of mold it and obviously not have it just be bare bones. So this painter's tape was the first layer after the structure. So the bones, you could say. So right now we can kind of think of it as bamboo sticks and wireframe are the bones, and then this the tape is like the first layer of skin. And then obviously these are still, they have bird beaks, but they're still supposed to be birds of paradise flowers, so they have the actual like petals of the flower. And for that we can, this is crazy, you can tell that so what we did was we grabbed the air dry clay and we just created little mountains. This was the hardest part. You won't believe how hard it was to get this air dry clay to stick to the tape. And you can kind of tell that there's like, we had to seal it with hot glue around. So after we had our mounds, we each created these dowels with more wireframe and shaped those petals on top. So Ryan had like a standard. She said like 5 tall ones and then 1 little one sticking out the back. So if you see, they're all consistent in that way. So it's like 5 big ones, 1 little one sticking out the back, 5 big ones, 1 sticking out the back. And all these are exactly the same. So then after that, we took them outside, and before we started the paper macheing, we bought like I forgot what it was, but it was like an adhesive coating, and we gave each one 2 coats to harden the tape. So we were gonna do a lot of paper macheing, which was very wet. And the idea is just to coat and seal the tape, just so there's no loss in adhesive and there's no structural breakage. So that's the first thing. That's the first thing we did for spray painting. So here you can see how like we had to zip tie them so they can air dry. And this was the first attempt at or not the first attempt. This was like already like halfway paper mache. So you can see we just took newspaper and we just paper mache. We were dipping and placing strips around them, and the same things for we put them around the feathers, so everything got paper mached, like the whole head. The base is gonna be like a different project, but this is like how it was looking like in progress. And then you can see here the whole squad. Those are all 5 of the birds of paradise. Let me see something real quick so I can like, you can see better. I don't know if that makes it any better if I do this. No. But yeah, here are the 5 finished paper mache puppets. Now these are gonna be painted. They're gonna be painted this weekend. Yeah, we have like paint maps for those 2. I don't want to share the paint maps yet, just because I do want to leave some things for as a surprise. and like show you more. And again, I think the idea I had, that I was telling Isabel when I think, um, she was the only person on stream so far, like in the first minute or so, that I had a better idea on how to kind of present these, and I want to do like a special video, or like breaking down the process in a cleaner, neater way, and bring Ryan, if she wants to, do this, and kind of talk about it, and just do a full showcase of, how we built the puppets. And I think her insight is, would be like invaluable to, the whole process, because again, I'm kind of just the madman that had the idea, and I was helping along the way to build. But obviously, Ryan, being a designer extraordinaire that she is, this was, her baby. And I think it would be so awesome to kind of hear about the puppets from her. And that's why I'm also being a little, reserved about what we're showing, if that makes any sense. But yeah, these are the puppets we built over the weekend. I was very excited to, kind of still talk about them today, because I promised I was, break it down a little bit. And they're still not finished, though they're just missing a coat of paint, and some added details on like the eyes and the stem, but here they are. And I'm very proud of every single one of them, because they all did a great job, and they all have such unique personalities, especially knowing that my friends, like how each of them were shaped by my friends. And I think it was a great project, and it's gonna look even better on screen, so I'm very excited about these. But yeah, those are the puppets. I don't know what I'm gonna keep doing. Actually, I do know what I have to keep doing. I have to go back to, these drawings. I have to keep working on these. So thank you for, listening to me rant about, puppets for like 20 minutes. But now we gotta get back to, the grind of these drawings. And if there's any more questions, I'm also here to answer them. Kind of reshape that. So this one's done. We got another one done. Setting that. Oh, wait, no, it's not done. That's a lie. Because this has to be different. These corner pieces have to be different. So I'm just gonna do a little house up here. Like so. Thank you. This is, I don't know if you have been able to catch the other streams, but this border is kind of inspired by this that we did for, which is gonna be part of the film. It's like it's like part of like one of the sequences in the film. So we did this. These have been like the first 4 streams that we had. Was kind of making this, and it took forever. And I decided to keep that as like visual language of the film because I really like how it looked, and it's very like it pops a lot. So that's like the inspiration for that. I thought these look like really nice, and I can just make them really simple illustrations. And once people like see these, they can it can kind of click. I thought it would be good branding, so I kept it. I think I'm gonna start using it more around. So that's one of the interesting parts about how this film is kind of developing. Is I've been able to do it piece by piece, and do things in a not so normal way, I guess you could say. So this is one of them, like getting to create like branding live as I'm making the film. It's one of those privileges. So let's call this one. This was set design. Okay, and then turn that off. I should have included these. It doesn't matter. Okay, so the next one we're gonna work on is let's do one like a simple one. I guess film festival submissions would be an easy one. I don't know how to do that. Oh, actually, I do know how I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna be a little self-referential. So I'm gonna go to my website portfolio and pull this up for reference. So I'm gonna try to do something like I did here for the Cannes Film Festival, which is like a UCF thing. And I'm just gonna do like something like that in the frame. So probably like use the idea of the mountains and spotlight. That's what I'm gonna do. Okay, let's go back here. It's good to be a little self-referential once in a while, I think. So I'm gonna still use, because it also gets the idea across of like Hollywood and stuff, and I think it could be a neat little drawing. So I want to do a base. Base outline. So yesterday we kind of designed this, and it's like a one shoe fits all. But now I have to make like multiple of these illustrations, because they have to go on the Seed and Spark. So I just have to make a lot of them, and like everything else, I make it complicated by doing everything in a very specific way. which then I regret. But it's the only way that like my brain works. So it was this way or no way. Now we just kind of have to grind it out. I do want to, like, at the start of next week, we are gonna get into more interesting things, because I do want to start um, the Bolivar stamp and the Cangrejo stamp assets that we have been talking about for a while. So we are gonna start doing that next. I need to make it darker, but not as dark. No. Whatever. Let's just leave it like that. Yeah. Start the the Bolivar stamp asset, since we have everything. Since we have everything else. We'll start on the Bolivar stamp asset, and I wanna take like the same approach that I did for the border stamp, which is do it digitally, and then print it and scan it, and to give it that texture. So there will be a lot of hands-on drawing. Oh, that was a beautiful one, but I messed up. I was so focused on how I was gonna do the M that I completely forgot that there was an L. Okay, hold on. No, I lost it. No, that's on me. Okay, yeah, I'm just gonna have to restart it. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I think I'm just gonna make like the Hollywood sign, but not complete. The stream is starting to feel a little too silent um, without the lo-fi girl. So we're gonna bring her back. There we go. Ryan, you did miss the puppets. I'm sorry. I can show you the presentation again. We talked about the puppets for like around like 25 minutes. We're having like sorry, I'm like concentrating now because I'm thinking about what I'm doing. So I went completely silent. So for anyone just joining, because I saw the thing spike. We talked puppets, but we can talk about puppets again. I'll bring back the puppets. So I made a presentation, like it was a presentation, but I kind of ran through the idea of like the conception to Ryan pointing out that what I wanted was already kind of existed at the Tiki Room, and a little trip we took to Disney World to like look at that point of reference. Again, privilege of living in Orlando. And then I kind of showed one of the inspiration birds, which is the national bird of Venezuela, the trupio. Some of the sketches I did, or like the set of sketches I did, and then the technical drawings you made or Ryan made for the puppet build. And then we bought the alligator snapper toys, and I kind of included this video. One of the first things I sent Ryan after they arrived, kind of like the basic motion and how it worked, which we knew that's how it worked. They're snapper toys, but just like the fluidity in the motion and what we wanted. And then this like early picture of the first time we tried doing or you tried building the puppets. When I say you, I'm probably referring to Ryan. I don't even know if she's on the stream anymore, but Ryan, production designer of Folklorico. So kind of this first build, and then the one picture I took of the progress of when we did build week on Saturday, and then this stupid video of all of them like in motion, while Jimmy Neutron plays in the background, and with a weird stretch. But yeah, I'm very happy with the way they turned out, and like the way they move and the way they look. And this was before we paper mache'd. This was let's reset this. This was like after we were done with the build, and then we wrapped them in tape, and we added their, like, we can call that like the clay cranium and the feather built with like the dowels which we can kind of like zoom into, like look at the dowel built on with the wireframes to shape those feathers. This was Robert's very like intricately built Scarlet Ibis. He did such a great job with that one. I mean, that's he did phenomenal with that build. So yeah, this is like after they were like the phase 1, and then I showed the like once we sprayed them to kind of reinforce the tape and give it a little bit of body so they can handle the paper mache, and the way we like zip tied them to the lawn chairs. And then this is obviously like already like halfway paper mache, and then all 5 of them already done and set up. This is the squad pick is so hard. I love the squad pick. So yeah, I'm trying to think of any other like tidbits of information from like puppet build that I had, and that I kind of wanted to talk about. And I rushed through this presentation again, but I'm free to answer any questions anybody had. If Ryan's still in the chat, she can help me answer some more questions. And I'm saving a lot more material for a later date. So this is what we have so far. Meanwhile, I'm going to go back to drawing. I'll actually do this for anyone joining. I'm gonna put the picture of the puppets here. This. Hold on. Look at that. Beautiful. Ooh, I'm moving everything now. No. There we go. So now nobody's missing anything. So I kind of like this one, but it's also like, I don't know. I feel like it's missing something. I don't know. I'm kind of confused. Not confused. I'm thinking it would be better. So we're gearing up. We're gearing up to actually like make this movie, and I kind of wanted to talk a little bit about the inception of the film as we are drawing, and why make this movie, and kind of like the stylistic approaches we're taking, because we are seeing the puppets, but the puppets have like a very specific like design philosophy and design principle to them, and I think that carries a lot of I think context that can be added to why we're doing such a thing and why are we doing it the way that we are. So I can talk about that, and I do want to talk about it because it's important to me, and I know that it might be something that gets overlooked, or not overlooked, but something that like I don't talk about as often and can be missed when we're looking at the creation of like materials for the film. So like for example, the puppets are a great like idea, or a great like starter on like why the film is the way that the film is. Because as you can see, it's all like handmade, and we aren't going for the illusion of realism, but instead like embracing artifice. And that's like one of my favorite things in film is like breaking the illusion that anything in film is real, and showing the audience that like films are, of course they're constructions, and audiences know that films are not real. That's why we go watch them. We know that they don't they're not real, but we still choose to believe their reality. I think that's like the most beautiful part of like what film is. It's we choose to believe. We choose to engage, and we choose to consume and kind of live in these realities for a little bit. And that's like I think the most beautiful part of the medium. It's believing and like creating worlds that audiences can believe, and having, and like I'm trying to find the words and I'm being repetitive, but yeah, it's like choosing still to believe, and it's a very childish and innocent endeavor to watch a movie and go along with it and cry at it and laugh at it and love the characters and love the world and be inspired and everything. It's such a beautiful thing that film can achieve. We were having that kind of moment when we were building the puppets themselves. We watched Mary Poppins, which is a very imaginative film, and while we were watching, we all cried because it's Mary Poppins, but it's also, for me, it was that idea of you should never let yourself not believe or not play and not allow yourself those joys in life. I think that's like such an important lesson to learn, and keep trusting in that. So one of my biggest things in creating films is when you're the creator, when you're the artist, you're creating something for an audience, and the audience just kind of has to go along with you on that, and they have to be willing to join you for that ride. So the best you can give them is something to, or a lot to hold on to, and I mean, for my first short film, Those Who Sit Above, I kind of embraced that, and it was a very Lynchian project. It was black and white, and it had a lot of surrealism to it. Um, there was there's a lot of weird imagery, but I built a world around it, and I built a character, and like even if the audience doesn't know what I fully intended, there was still that semblance of like, hey, this exists within the parameters of this other thing, if that makes sense. I think I'm rambling at this point, and I don't know if any of it makes sense, but I'm gonna keep going. And after that, I made In the Eye of the Beholder. That was kind of the same thing, and I played around more with the idea of abstraction. And then for Retrospection, which is a documentary, that was like a very personal film, and it was a documentary, and it was very, very specific. But the response has consistently been that people felt that that they could relate to it, that there was a semblance of like empathy or sympathy with my family, and they felt like they could be part of that. And the exercise and like the experiment we did in that film, people kind of applied it to their own life. And that's such a beautiful thing that that at least I take away from my filmmaking experience, is that's the kind of response that we're looking for. So to tie back to the puppets, where I was originally going, and it was a conversation Ryan and I were having yesterday in our production design meeting, talking about we were gonna what's that called? We were trying to figure out the eye sockets for the puppets, and we decided to we were talking about what was the best way to do it, and we had bought some plastic spoons, but like it wasn't really working the way we wanted it to work, and we came up with multiple options, but we always came back to the same principle, which was the plastic spoons worked because it was found objects, and it's the same like concept that we built the whole puppets around, which is like kind of found objects. So it's paper mache, they are like hand built, and they're not perfect. Their lines are very rough, and even like the most intricate ones and the most like shape defined ones, there's a lot of personality in that. And yes, like we did sorry, let me backtrack. There's a lot of like personality in that, because everyone had like a hand in making them. Everyone made their own, and everyone has their own way of doing things. Everyone has a different crafts hand, and so that is very noticeable in the final puppets, and you can see that when it comes into the screen, you're gonna be able to notice that, and then the audience is gonna be able to pick up on that. And all of a sudden, like, these puppets are more than just like paper mache alligator snapper toys that we built on, but they become something else. And then you, like, once they're in their narrative and once they're in the big screen, they'll be something magical. So breaking down that artifice and like showing audiences like, hey, what you see is not perfect. It's handmade. It's made by people. It's not really such a bad thing because people already know that it was made by someone. So why not embrace the fact that what's that called? You like they know and they understand that it's made by someone, so it's not really necessarily a bad thing to be like, hey, here's the construction of it. And I love that because I love movies that are like that. I know I love watching movies where I can tell that somebody made something and that something is suspension of disbelief. That's a perfect way to put it. This has been a long rant and it's been all over the place. I'm just kind of like talking. I've just been kind of talking. And it's also kind of to distract myself. But yeah, it's just that idea of suspension of disbelief and creating something that's handmade. And it also goes hand in hand with what the film is about. And we have created everything so far with that in mind. And I'm very happy. I'm very happy with the way these puppets turned out. I love the way that we have been we did slay those puppets very hard. But yeah, I'm just so happy with the way everything is, and I love creating films in an artisanal, handcrafted way. And that's I hope to keep making films that way. And that's kind of like the philosophy behind the puppets and like the film in general. I think more movies should be artisanal. I think embracing perfection is criminal sometimes. And like I'm a perfectionist. I try to be like too perfect at everything I do. But when it comes to film, I think we just have to embrace imperfection, and that's what's that called? That's just something that I like to live by. I think it helps me be better, and it helps me be looser and be quicker and snappier when creating and what's that called? When creating art, because film is art. The same way a painting is art, and there's imperfections in paintings. The same way there's imperfections in music. As much as we try to cover those patches, there's imperfection. I think imperfection builds character. So that's my rant. That's my rant on that. And I'm here to keep answering questions. Even though nobody asked me a question, I just kind of went off. Yes, Andre did get insanely hurt by the hot glue gun. I don't know how she did it, but it burned her on the thigh. Was it, or just your leg? It was dangerous. We were molding with hot glue, and playing around with hot. There was a point where I fully stuck my. I just laid down some hot glue on the puppet, and then I went to instantly try to mold it right after I put it down, and I also kind of burned my fingers. But I was about to pull a Victoria Justice. I think we all got hurt. It was just very, very. We were in there. We weren't wearing gloves, or we weren't trying to be careful. We were just trying to build these things, and we all kind of got hurt. I don't know. Sorry, I'm taking like a little stretch break here. I'm just gonna dedicate the the rest of the stream to kind of talking about the puppets, I guess. If anybody has any more questions or like to hear any more stories, I'm trying to try to recall some of them. I do kind of want to say about one of the my favorite parts of building the puppets was just kind of seeing them come to life, seeing how everyone seeing how like their beaks were kind of coming together, and the way that they were forming was so cool. Genuinely, that was like my favorite part, to see them piece by piece, and I got so into it that I forgot to take pictures. I was trying to document like the whole process, because I like documenting like everything. I take pictures of everything, but I was so invested in kind of the process. Will I be puppeteering for the shoot? I think so. I want to. I want to. I think we all are gonna puppeteer. It just depends. There are 5 puppets, and we need. Yeah, but the idea is, yes, I think I am gonna puppeteer. I think Andrea's gonna puppeteer, Ryan my puppeteer, Robert my puppeteer, and somebody else is gonna puppeteer as well. I'm saying these people like you know them, but they're the 4 people that helped build the puppets. That's the part I'm looking forward to the most, is kind of seeing them in action, and like the whole, because apart from the puppets, there is like a stage build we came up with, which is also very exciting. So I'm excited to see them come to life, and I'm gonna be talking about that more later. Yeah, the gang is definitely gonna puppeteer, and I'm excited that you're excited. I can't wait to see the film either. It's been such an interesting process to get here, so I'm just excited to see like how we can take it, where we can take it, and I know that there's so many aspects of the film, and every single one of them is exciting to me, and it's one of my favorite projects I've worked on so far, and that says a lot, because all my films have been such cool projects to work on, at least for me. And this is the first time that I'm not like lone wolfing everything most of the time. Like, I've worked with my friends before, for sure, but this is also one of the first times where like there's a bit more like crew, and I mean Ryan, and like this is the first proper time that I work with Ryan as production designer, or that I even have a production designer, and that's been like a phenomenal journey to kind of have ideas and be like, hey, this is the crazy thing I want to do, and Ryan knows how to get them done, and beautifully, as you can tell by the puppets. And that's just been like with most of the things we've built. So it's just very exciting. That's one of the most exciting parts of the film. And I was shortlisting like a week ago, and with my cinematographer Carlos, and we came up with like such cool shots, that if we can achieve them, the film will just be like even better just for that. So yeah, there's a lot of things happening in the film, and I wish I could share them all. I mean, they will be shared eventually, because I'm planning to do a lot of like post filming or post production. I was trying to avoid saying that, but like post release, I guess, commentary on the film as well. But anyway, I am gonna call the stream for today. I think it's been a very successful stream so far. And just successful in kind of talking about the puppets and everything. Definitely there will be more on the puppets soon. We will see the puppets again. The great puppets will return. I will be streaming tomorrow at 2. Of course, Isabel, thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you taking time out of your day and to be here, and same with everyone that joined the stream today. And then tomorrow I'll be streaming again, hopefully some other cool thing, but we'll see. At this point, I go in with a plan every day, and that's not what it ends up being. So the puppets will return. We'll talk more about the puppets, and you can ask me about the puppets again tomorrow. I'll have the picture up with the ask me about the puppet sign. And then, yeah, I don't think there will be streams on Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. We'll be back on Monday after tomorrow's stream. So thank you so much for joining me again on the process of making this movie. I appreciate you all, and have a great rest of your day.